Hi everybody, hi YouTube family. Thank you so much for joining me again today. My name is Lisa Romano and I'm a life coach specifically for adult children who are today realizing that their lives aren't working and they just want some clarity and they want some help connecting the dots. And so often so many of us reach a certain age where we've been to therapy, we've gone to psychiatrists, we've been on the anti-anxiety meds, and we're at a point where nothing's working or we're looking for something else, something a little bit more. And so, what I want to talk about right now is what the problem truly is. So, perhaps those of you who have been searching for answers might be able to make this connection in your own mind and get the clarity you seek. So, what's wrong with us, dear one? What's wrong with anyone is not them. The true self is divine, and the true self has come here to actualize in a 3D reality, to become physical, to be manifested in the physical. What does that mean? That means if I have the heart of a musician, then it is my soul's priority to come into this life experience and to manifest the career of a musician, to manifest music and to compose music and to play music. If I come into this life experience and I love computers and I feel excited when I think about computers, then it's my job, my soul, and my self's responsibility to self to come into this 3D, this amazing 3D world, and perhaps advance technology um, with computers. I came into this life experience feeling like a writer. I was 7 years old, and writing helped me float away from anxiety, and I knew that. And at 17 years old, when my dad sat me down and said, "So, Lisa, what do you want to do with your life?" I said, "I want to be a writer." And he said, "No, you don't want to be a writer. You want to be a nurse. Everybody gets sick and dies." That was my father's logic. Then again, my father's a Marine. Mom committed suicide. Father was an extremely abusive alcoholic. And my father's life experience as a child, was one in which he realized that life could be really, really difficult and you better know how to make money. So um, that's where he was coming from. What did I do as a codependent seeking my father's validation? My dream to become a writer went right out the door, and I went into nursing school and nearly had a nervous breakdown. Not that I wasn't a good nurse. I lacked the boundaries necessary to be a good nurse. Um, I just felt everything. I couldn't separate my feelings from other people's feelings. Now I can, but that took many years of maturity and bringing into alignment my myself, and understanding what my boundaries really are, where I begin, where other people begin, and so on and so forth. So the real problem that we have as individuals is not us. The real problem is our programming, the illusion that who we are is not enough. Now, how does that happen? That happens in lots of ways. So it doesn't matter if your house looked perfect, if you got ignored, if you were not asked about your day, if you were not validated, if your parents were enmeshed and codependent, if mom's a crackhead, if dad's a pedophile, if dad's touching you inappropriately and he doesn't touch your siblings inappropriately, and if there's this no talk rule in your house, if you are not validated for the self little being that you are, if when you fall down no one nurtures you, when you have an earache no one seems to care, when you're hungry and everyone tells you to shut up, when you are lost in the shuffle, you are taught your perception. When you're 2, you have a perception. By the time you're 18 months old, you start figuring out and labeling yourself whether I'm good and whether I'm bad. And that's all dependent on whether or not you can please mommy and daddy, because mommy and daddy are God to us. So we have to understand that from 0 to 12, our perception of self was being formed. If you had some funky life experiences from 0 to 12, then we have to take into consideration what your 2-year-old self was perceiving, what your 3-year-old self was perceiving, what your 4-year-old self was perceiving, and understand that's all part of the programming. That becomes the foundation. And so if you learned that when people got angry, you felt shunned, then the brain associates pain with making people angry. So you will have a fear, a limiting belief in your subconscious mind that has you fearing making other people angry. So what's going to happen? You marry someone who is kind of pushing your limits, you won't say anything because fear making other people angry is going on. Now, that fear of making other people angry worked when we were babies, when we were children, because we were powerless. We were innocent little babies that were only trying to protect ourselves. So it was a survival instinct to fear making other people angry. So when we were 0 to 18, it might have been appropriate, until we were for as long as we were under our parents' thumb. It might have been appropriate and smart for us to tone ourselves down in front of crazy ass dad who's drinking and whipping out his belt and beating the crap out of mom or one of our siblings, or punching the neighbor in the face. I mean, we have gone through like some crazy ass crap in our lifetime. And anyone who tells you that they don't have stuff, they're lying. They're lying. We all have stuff, and we all come here to transcend that stuff and to come back to the self and to come into alignment with self, the mind, the body, the spirit. Um, so if when you were little, you toned yourself down, dear one, that was probably a wonderful, magical thing for you to do, and it probably kept you very safe. But today, it's going to keep you stuck. And so I don't advocate pissing people off on purpose. For instance, I just use that as an example. What I do advocate is confronting the belief that perhaps you're afraid to make other people angry and understand that it served you once but is keeping you stuck today. So that means that we have to be able to feel our feelings. That means if we would, let's say you're a man and you've attracted a beautiful woman into your life experience and you fear being alone. Well, if you don't confront the fear of being alone and understand that that's from childhood, and that the only way to really feel happy and comfortable and secure in your own self is to know that you're never alone because you always have your divine self. If you don't come full circle with that, what will happen is you'll be afraid to confront this woman when she's flirting with your best friend because you'll be afraid to make her angry, because if you make her angry, she might leave. And so what we want to do is be able to confront the belief systems that our 2-year-old and our 4-year-old and our 5-year-old, and my puppy's kicking in here, our 2-year-old with our 4-year-old with a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old mind globbed onto to keep ourselves safe, and be able to work through those limiting beliefs and come to the other end of it. So, dear one, there is nothing wrong with you. Your divine self is perfect. It's natural. It's innate, and it's you are made of dust, like stardust, and every baby is made from stardust, and we are that stardust. Every cell of our bodies, if you pay attention to, if you understand your chemistry, and you look into what a human cell looks like, and you understand the energy of a cell, what you will discover is that there is a universe inside every cell of your being. And we are amazing, amazing beings here on planet Earth, trying to do nothing more than to come back into alignment with the divine being that we truly are. And those of us who have suffered terrible, terrible childhood experiences, we can overcome them, and we can come full circle and actualize the self if we learn to use logic and reason and learn to connect to the higher self, which is able to objectify the lower self. So from a higher self, I can look down and understand. I can look down at my lower self or my child self, the psychology of my child self, and totally understand where I've come from and appreciate my path thus far, and look forward to a wonderful, bright future. You can do it, dear ones. I hope this has helped. Let me know. Namaste. I bow to the love and the light in you. Namaste.